Hello everyone, and welcome to 404s of the World, a spin-off series of remarkable engines where I briefly cover the history of an engine numbered 404 in 4 minutes and 4 seconds. In this episode, we have yet another 2-for-1, this time combining railroads that are mostly related, namely the Baltimore and Ohio and the Reading. I decided to combine both of these railroads into one video since the Reading was technically a B&O subsidiary since the mid-1900s, with several equipment and employees from both railroads often swapping equipment throughout most of their history, in addition to there being once again little to no info on these two engines. So with that out of the way, let's begin. Starting off with the older of the two railroads is an engine that entered towards the middle of the B&O's lengthy career, as according to steamlocomotive.com, there are technically 3 B&O 404s. The first 404 was built by Lima in 1916 as the railroad's Q2 class, which was inherited from the Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Western in 1927. The second 404 was built by Brooks in 1912 as a Q10 or Z class, which was also inherited from the Buffalo, Rochester, and Pittsburgh in 1932. And the most well-known of the 3 is the B&O's original Q4 class built by Baldwin in 1923, with 404 being renumbered to 4404 sometime later on, with all 404s being built towards the beginning of their respective classes. As one would expect, 404 along with the rest of the railroad's hundreds of Mikados can be found anywhere and everywhere along the B&O system, mostly performing a wide variety of local and mainline freight duties, with their incredibly versatile design resulting in Mikados being one of the most common steam engines on most railroad rosters during the 20s and 30s. But alas, the army of Mikados was still no match against dieselization, as all but one of the B&O Mikados were slowly taken off the roster and were scrapped by the 50s. Interestingly, Lion-O made an O-gauge model of the Baltimore and Ohio 404, but instead of representing one of the steam engines on the roster with the same number, Lion-O gave the number to a Bud RDC baggage car as part of a 3-car B&O RDC set. If there's one thing that the Reading loved, it was camelbacks, a type of steam engine that had its cab located in the middle of the boiler instead of the rear, due to their use of the nearby and abundant anthracite coal. Likewise, it should come as no surprise that many of these camelbacks were placed on the Reading's abundant commuter runs out of Philadelphia, particularly engines with smaller wheelbases that didn't require too much strength for branch line trains. On the topic of being in the end of an era, Reading 404 was part of the D8C class, which was the last class of 440s to be rebuilt by the Reading in 1911, as this engine was also built in the middle of a batch for 10 engines. Of these 10 engines, 5 of the D8Cs, including 404, were rebuilt just 10 years later in 1920 into the D8SD class, as they were superheated with a modest kit that contributed to a good increase in efficiency, and were also given outside Waltz-shirt radial valve gear. Despite these upgrades, 404 along with other Reading commuter engines wouldn't last for much longer, as the electrification of the Reading's Philly-based commuter branches in 1931 reduced many of these engines to surplus, as camelbacks were later outlawed due to lack of communication between the fireman and engineer, as 404 along with several other iconic camelbacks were eventually scrapped not too long after. Although, this obscure 404's legacy would be kept alive in a rather unexpected form, as YouTuber Anthracite Modeler would make a kit bash of 404 and would feature it in several of their videos, thus highlighting not only Reading 404, but also a lesser known class of iconic Reading camelbacks. Thank you again for watching. Credit for all the photos used go to their respective photographers, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe for more. Have a good day.